Hello and how's it going, everyone? It is Skullzi here with yet another Bethesda Roundup news video where I break down all the most recent Bethesda news, rumors, and speculation, and I have a surprising amount of interesting stuff to talk about today, even though it's like the slowest month of the year for gaming in general. Now, bear in mind, my neighbors seem to be building an empire or something next door, so you might hear weird like construction-related noises. I'll try to talk around those noises because my life is at the whim of my neighbor's construction choices. But either way, let's not waste any more time and let's get to today's news and information. I got a handful of things to talk about today. If in case you haven't noticed, I do put topic stamps down in the description below in case you're just like curious about one or two particular topics. But let's get to the first thing that I want to talk about in today's video. Glasses mode has been activated. That is how you know stuff is about to get real. Also, I'm probably gonna get real pale because I'm about to open up Reddit and a few other things, and the light from the screen produces so much radiation it literally makes me die in front of you and become a ghost. No, I'm just joking. I guess I'm just super reflective. Useless superpowers unite.
Not so pale.
But the first thing I want to talk about in today's video is a trusted industry insider who has a very good track record, whose name I still can't pronounce even though I've reported on their stuff numerous times. Clobril or Clobril or whatever it is. But either way, they have said stuff about Bethesda in the past and other games that have come out to have been true eventually, so they are a trusted inside source. And according to Clobril, they believe Starfield will come out in 2021. So yes, that they don't seem to indicate they have any inside information to predict this. However, in the past, they've made other statements that were along the lines that they do have inside tips regarding that Starfield should come out in 2021, I believe. But either way, this isn't anything huge, so I'm not going to focus on it too much in today's video. But yet another industry insider with a proven track record believes Starfield will come out this year, and that adds a little bit more hype to the hype train for a November 2021 Starfield release, which is when I believe the game will personally come out, and when the trademark filings and a bunch of other stuff seem to indicate the game will come out as well. But either way, I don't want to waste too much time on just when some insider believes Starfield will come out. Let's move on to the next story. According to an insider According to Windows Insider Jez Corden, Xbox has at least 2 major unannounced titles that will apparently be released, or at least are most likely to be released according to Jez Corden in 2021 as well. Now bear in mind, these are probably exclusive Xbox titles, meaning exclusive only to the PC and the Xbox Series X or the Xbox One, at least for a limited amount of time, if not permanently, and these are 2 unannounced games. So they might be from Bethesda, they might not be, but they're not Starfield, or at least these 2 unannounced games aren't Starfield because Starfield has been unannounced already. And like I said, that doesn't take away from the fact that I believe Starfield, or a lot of other people believe Starfield, will come out this year. It's just Starfield isn't one of these 2 unannounced games. However, a lot of articles and insiders do believe that one of these unannounced games could potentially be Wolfenstein 3 somehow. And like I've broken down in previous videos, Wolfenstein 3 does potentially have the ability to be announced surprisingly here very soon in 2021, because apparently Machine Games are working on another unannounced game, because previously, before Indiana Jones, the Bethesda Indiana Jones game was announced, according to LinkedIn profiles from actual Machine Games employees, they were currently working on 2 unannounced projects, and we now know one of the unannounced projects is the Indiana Jones game, which means what's the other one? And if you go even further and remember that Pete Hines did confirm that Wolfenstein 3 was going to happen, then that adds more credibility to the fact that maybe this other unannounced Machine Games game could be Wolfenstein 3, and according to Jez Corden, it would be announced this year and most likely would also be released this year as well. But bear in mind, this is just another insider who does have a proven track record, especially when it comes to anything to do with Xbox. But like I said, this is just another insider tip. I feel like that's accidentally what became the theme of today's video, but this is the last insider tip I'm talking about today, don't worry. Let's move on to the next thing. The next thing I want to talk about is interesting because it has to do with a low-key, untalked about Bethesda expansion. However, I won't talk about it too much because it has to do with a Bethesda studio that focuses mainly on mobile games, and that is Alpha Dog Games. And like I said, they do make a various different amount of mobile games, as you can see on their website here. However, it kind of went unnoticed that Bethesda acquired them back in 2019, and like I said, I think that's mostly because the stuff Alpha Dog makes makes doesn't seem to be directly related to any Bethesda IPs. However, I might be wrong about that. Maybe they assisted with like Fallout Shelter or Blades or something. I doubt that. I don't believe they did, but either way, the Bethesda trademark for a game that has yet to be announced, Giant Monster News, I believe would most likely have to do with Alpha Dog Games. And according to recent articles and talk amongst the gaming industry, Alpha Dog Games is currently undergoing a massive hiring spree and expansion right now underneath Bethesda. So maybe Bethesda is going to expand their mobile game market low-key, and maybe the fact that we don't hear about these mobile games is because Bethesda considers them like a completely separate sector from their other gaming division because they focus only on mobile games, like I said, have nothing to do with their IP. Maybe when Bethesda acquired Alpha Dog Games, they acquired them with the sole purpose of just allowing them to continue to make the games they make and content they make and just take a portion of the profits. But either way, I'm not familiar with their games or their content, but it's interesting to see that Bethesda is using some of this Microsoft money to even expand one of their studios that we almost never hear anything about. The next story is another small thing I just want to briefly mention. Today's video is mostly just small but interesting things, so if I'm moving too fast for stuff here, I'm sorry. I don't want to speculate too much on just these small topics, especially when there isn't much speculation to be done. But the next thing I want to talk about has to do with a lot of recent talk going down and involving the Indiana Jones Bethesda game, who, again, remember, Todd Howard is the executive producer of, but according to Pete Hines, he won't be spending too much time on that project because he'll be focusing on Starfield and Test 6 apparently. But either way, a lot of people in the community have been asking or wondering if Harrison Ford would voice Indiana Jones in this new Bethesda game, because obviously he is the voice of Indiana Jones. But the thing is, Harrison Ford has only voiced Indiana Jones in 4 video games out of like a ton of Indiana Jones related video games. So when you look at the actual statistics, the chances of Indiana Jones being voiced by Harrison Ford in this Bethesda game are kind of low, but seeing how Lucasfilm Games are involved and Todd Howard, who is now an acclaimed video game director and producer, seeing how he's gotten all these awards recently and seeing how Microsoft has just dropped $7 billion on Bethesda, I would say that substantially increases the chances that Harrison Ford could maybe do some voice work for this game, especially because he's apparently doing work for the new Indiana Jones movie as well. But either way, so far it's only speculative that maybe Indiana Jones will be voiced by Harrison Ford in this game, but the chances could go either way. I just wanted to give you my opinion and breakdown on this really quick because it is a currently trending topic amongst the Bethesda and the gaming community, and I guess the Indiana Jones community now, because movie communities are now overlapping with this game, which is kind of cool. And the next thing I want to talk about is pretty interesting. id Software is currently working on an announced game, and this game is apparently, according to recent trademarks, going to be VR focused somehow. This game right now is only referred to as Project 2021A, and this is known again by recent trademark filings in Australia of all places. You can see this is the actual Australian trademark right here. You can see it's called Project 2021A, like I said, and it was very recently filed, as you can see, on the 22nd of January this year, so a couple days ago. And according to the trademark filings, it is a video game of some kind with a VR focus, so who knows what this is, but I do have my theories on what this could be. Sorry if my glasses popping on and off my face are distracting. I try to make stupid jokes when I do it, but it kind of gets old when I do that, but I do require them to read certain things, so you're gonna have to get used to it. But either way, I believe this game could be potentially a completely new IP from id Studios, or maybe even a new Doom game that's going to be the sequel to Doom Eternal, or this is what I think it most likely will be, is some sort of new IP built on the new game engine that id Studios location in Germany are currently working on. A lot of people don't know. id Studios has another studio location located in Germany whose main purpose is to make a next-gen id Studios game engine. And id Studios always does amazing things in terms of the technical side of gaming, so I'm very excited to see what this new game engine could be. And judging by this Project 2021A trademark, maybe this game engine is going to have a focus on VR, but I don't think that's the case. I think that the game engine will be an all-encompassing game engine that will also be able to just do a very good job in VR as well. But either way, that's everything I mostly wanted to talk about in today's video. A lot of it was speculation and insider tip stuff, however, some of it was very interesting, at least in my opinion, which is why I wanted to share it with you all today. But let me know what you think about all this down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the content, be sure to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn notifications on. And if you want to help grow the channel and the community, be sure to share the video, share the channel, get people people to subscribe, as the YouTube algorithm doesn't really help small channels grow, and the channel's growing kinda slowly. However, since I've been asking you all to share content, the channel has been growing faster, so huge appreciation for that. Keep doing what you're doing, and speaking of appreciation, huge shout out to these amazing people for going above and beyond to support the channel and bring you content like this. If you want to get your name added to the future video shout out list and get a permanent video shout out in every single one of my videos from this point forward, you can support the channel over on Ko-fi, Patreon, or here on YouTube as an exclusive channel member. I will be updating this list today, so if you want to get your name added to this list, or if you've supported the channel recently, your name will get added to this list that will be updated with tomorrow's video. So this is your last chance to get your name added to the next list that'll be featured in a lot of videos from this point forward. Like I said, links on how to support the channel and more are down in the description below. And as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in next time. When does it feel like 2021 is going by kind of fast for anyone else? It's almost February already. Jeez.
It just works.